All right, welcome back to Gregory Boxing. We're going over our beginner's boxing strikes. All right, so right now we're going to go over the two. The two is also known as your right hand if you're orthodox, your left hand if you're southpaw. All right, so the two is a power punch, right? And where does your power come from? It comes from transferring your weight in the same direction as the punch that you're throwing. A couple of things to key in on is where your hand is when you throw it. All right, so once you set up in your stance, you want to make sure that right hand is as back far enough to where it's protecting your chin, right? But that you could drive straight through. I'll show you a couple of other key points to it as you're teaching it to yourself at home. Okay, so how are we going to throw the two? Once I've gotten to my stance, common problems, common don'ts is people are throwing the two from here, right? So from here to here. So essentially, all you're looking at is if I'm throwing my two from here to here, right? That's how far it is. So you're only giving me this much space, right, to generate speed and power. So, but if it comes from back here, right? Oh, look, my right hand is longer. All right, so now how do we get more power? Then you start to focus in on your core, right? So if your power comes from transferring your weight in the same direction as the punch that you're throwing, you want that core back here with my feet lined up towards the thing I'm trying to hit. Okay, and as I push off of my rear foot, boom, I let that lead knee bend so I have a nice clean transfer. So as you're practicing it in the mirror, you're trying to hit a bag, set up right in front of it, your hands are up, and you're just going to practice this. Rotate your weight back and drive through. A couple of questions that I usually get from a beginner is like, well, how do I throw that every single time? Is that like telegraphing my two? Absolutely not. There's a million ways to get to that position. Whether I step up into that position, I shift up into that position, or I throw a hook to get to that position. The goal is for you to be able to throw a big monster right hand, which is essentially transferring your weight in the same direction as the punch that you're throwing at a high rate of speed. Okay, so just to recap throwing the two. All right, you're transferring your weight in the same direction as the punch that you're throwing. Okay, it starts from back here, and you're going to drive through. A couple of key points, make sure that as you're transferring your weight, you let your lead knee bend so that as you drive, there's no head movement. I'm not driving up. When you straighten your knee out, do you see what that looks like? Boom, I'm driving straight up with that right hand. That's not clean. Nice and straight through. And as always, when you're throwing that punch, because it's a straight punch, right when it gets to the end, squeeze your fist and turn it.